and frustration. Our forefathers would be proud if they saw how America has grown together through the acceptance of equality and individualism. Despite this, they would be disappointed to see how Americans have split and divided against each other for other selfish reasons, and would also disagree with the ways that the government has gained more power over the people. As America grows as an influential world leader, our forefathers would be filled with pride that the freedoms that they fought for and outlined in the Constitution are still protected. But they would be saddened to see that some of the issues that they dealt with, such as political divisiveness, are still unresolved. Regardless of this, even if it isn't up to their standards at the moment, I believe that in order for a change, there must be hope that America can become the ideal country our forefathers envisioned. Thank you.
The winner of a cash prize and first place for Post 7414 is Olivia Frazier, reading her essay, Has Our Country Fulfilled the Vision of Our Forefathers?
The word vision can be defined as the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. Our forefathers had a vision for our country which encompassed the basic principles of liberty, unity, and religion. Why would we go against their vision and what helped bring our country together to begin with? Although we are all entitled to our own views, it is apparent that our country has strayed from the vision set for us by our forefathers. Even though we have overcome many obstacles in our time as a country, division is a problem that is still very prevalent to this day. Specifically, the rift between political parties, which has overflowed into people's social lives. It is all too common now that if people do not agree on political views, they treat others like opponents rather than fellow citizens. Abraham Lincoln states in his speech, "A house divided against itself cannot stand." By this, Lincoln means that if we are divided as a country, then our foundation will become weak and we will lose our ability to stand. Without the ability to stand, our nation will ultimately crumble. Our forefathers warned against this, yet we still fell into it. It is important to note the impact division has had on our society's development. If we take a step back and look what our founding fathers believed, we can see their complete dependence and trust in God for the provision of our country. As a nation, we have turned away from faith and are focused solely on our own good and our own selfish gain. Communities are divided, Christians are looked down upon, and our country has strayed from faith as a whole. We as humans are imperfect and rely solely on the grace and forgiveness of God for our lives. Abraham Lincoln states, "The only assurance of our nation's safety is to lay our foundation in morality and religion." The foundation of faith is one that is imperative for us to have, not only in our country, but in our lives. As a result of us straying from religion and morality, our country no longer embodies the phrase, "one nation under God." If not under God, our nation cannot and will not prosper the way our forefathers intended. Even though others might disagree, it is clear to see that the vision and hope that our forefathers had for America has not been upheld. As a result of not heeding their warnings, we now find ourselves in a country of division and immorality. The integrity of our nation has been compromised, and it must be repaired in order to ensure the continuation of our freedom and unity. While we are not the country our forefathers envisioned, that does not mean that we will never be. As Americans, we can pull together and work to meet the vision set for our country. We must consider and take seriously the words of those who came before us and offer us wisdom and guidance. Thank you.
Both Olivia and Morgan's essays will compete for more cash and prizes at the district level before hopefully proceeding to the Arkansas VFW department.
Jason Nazarenko, a graduate of Carter High in Arkansas, entered the United States Army in 1996. He holds a Master of Philosophy in Management from Walden University, a Master of Business Administration from Columbia Southern University, and a Bachelor of Science in Aeronautical Studies from Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. In his early career, Mr. Nazarenko was a food service specialist, and 8 years later became a warrant officer and a helicopter pilot. His last 10 years in the United States Army, he flew Black Hawk helicopters for the nation's only Special Operations Aviation Unit, the the 160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment, also known as the Night Stalkers. Mr. Nazarenko is a combat veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, Resolute Support, and Inherent Resolve. He deployed overseas on over 14 separate occasions. After 23 years of service to the Army, he chose to return to Cotter, Arkansas in 2019 with his wife Cammie of 28 years to serve his community. Together, they have raised 2 children. He has served as the lead pilot for the Air Evac Life Team in Harrison, Arkansas, and is very involved in helping to revitalize his hometown of Cotter through the renovation of multiple historic buildings. He is currently working in business development and marketing for his local hospital. He is the representative-elect for the House of Representatives District 4 and will be sworn in this coming January. Please join me in welcoming veteran Jason Nazarenko to Southside.
Thank you very much. I'm going to try to take this off here. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. And first off, I want to thank everyone that had a piece of getting this together. I know Miss Nelson had a lot to do with it, but I know that it happens from a ton of folks. This doesn't just happen overnight. It's lots of hard work, and I really appreciate everyone from the choir, from the band, from the color guard. Really appreciate everyone. Let's give all of those a round of applause as well for all their hard work. Really appreciate that. All right, before I get started, I'm going to show a quick video. We're going to try to get a video queued up here. It's not long at all, so just bear with us and we'll try to get that going.
Well, I believe we, the Americans of today, are ready to act worthy of ourselves. Ready to do what must be done to ensure happiness and liberty for ourselves, our children, and our children's children. Those who say that we're in a time when there are no heroes, they just don't know where to look. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. The price for this freedom at times has been high, but we have never been unwilling to pay that price. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.
I tell you what, I love watching that video, videos like that. I mean, there's, when you've got a helicopter, guns, I mean, that just screams freedom for me and for these folks down here, and I know it does for you as well. So again, thank you for allowing me to watch that here. This event, this is such an incredible event. I have been incredibly impressed from the moment I walked in, and I want to just thank you for allowing me to be a part of this. This event, every year, this time of year, as you guys know, the colors change on the leaves in the trees. We've got holidays coming up. You've got family coming in. You've got a ton of things going on. But what's most important right now is that you stop and you honor the veterans. We take time before we get to the holidays, before we get to Thanksgiving, before we get to Christmas. We take time to remember what the veterans did for our freedoms. What they have sacrificed for our freedoms, and I really appreciate us taking the time to do that. What I want to do today is I want to share 2 stories with us, because I think this is one of the best ways that we can honor veterans is by understanding the stories, the sacrifice that they've gone through, different things, and the best way to do that is through their experiences. The first one I want to talk to you about is a man named Adam Brown. Adam Brown, if you've never heard his name, he was born over here in Hot Springs, Arkansas. He was born to a working class family. He grew up in the school there in Hot Springs. He was a good student. He had decent grades. He had some friends that he hung out with, and there were stories about him taking care of the younger kids around him. There's a story about a young boy that had gotten off the bus with a bunch of other students, and he had Down syndrome. Adam stepped in when these boys were... They were going in and they were bullying this young boy. Adam got in between them, and he stood there, and he stood up, and he said, if you're going to bully him, you're going to bully me first. The stories went on and on about Adam Brown, of different things he did growing up. Unfortunately, Adam's life got affected by drugs, alcohol, crime, and it went further and further. Adam suffered for that for many years. He got into that crime scene, he got into the drugs and couldn't get out. It spiraled around him. It got to the point where he was arrested, and he was given the opportunity to either go to jail or go to rehab. Luckily, Adam chose rehab. Adam had a young family at the time. He had a young wife, young kids, and he knew that he needed to do something different. He knew that right there, what he was doing, he was just going to fall right back into that trap. So Adam reached out and he said, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to get out there and do something. He had got involved with a church, with that recovery. He had found Christ through the opportunity, and then he decided he was going to go off to the military. Adam chose the United States Navy. He also chose to go into the Navy SEALs, which is the Navy Special Warfare Group. It's kind of the pinnacle of special warfare in the Navy. Adam successfully made it into the Navy SEALs, which only about 20% of the people that get into that program ever make it through. But Adam made it into the Navy SEALs, and he had some challenges along the way. Adam's story didn't stop there. He wanted to go higher. Adam chose to go even to the SEAL Team 6, which SEAL Team 6 is the pinnacle of all the SEAL teams. It's the one that everybody tries to attain. It's the one that, unfortunately, we hear sometimes about on the news, where we didn't used to a long time ago. But the SEAL Team 6 is the pinnacle. Adam assessed and continued on and made it all the way to SEAL Team 6. Unfortunately, in 2010, when Adam was on a deployment to Afghanistan in the Hindu Kush Mountains, he was killed in action. He suffered mortally out there, and he ended up succumbing to those mortal wounds, and we lost him on that day. There is a book out there that I highly encourage you, if you've never heard of it or never read it, I highly encourage you to go out and get it. It's called Fearless, and if you just look up Fearless, the Adam Brown story, your life will be, you will not regret reading it. The second story I want to tell you about, second hero I want to tell you about is Kyle Rotten. I'm going to get his last name incorrect here. So Kyle Hockenberry, Kyle Hockenberry, all the way over in Ohio. Kyle Hockenberry joined the Army in 2010, right after graduating high school. He graduated in 2010 and joined the Army about 4 months later. Not long after joining the Army, Kyle found himself deployed over to Afghanistan with his unit. He was on route recon. He was driving big trucks out there. Unfortunately, one day, he came across an IED, which is an improvised explosive device. If you've never heard of that, it's kind of like a homemade bomb, a homemade landmine, but even bigger. This one was really big, so when it hit his vehicle, or right near his vehicle, it hit so hard that it killed his friend that was with him, and then it took off both of his legs above the knee. It also took off his left arm above the elbow. So why do I talk about Kyle? He became famous because of a picture. The picture that surfaced from Kyle was after that injury, after that attack, that IED attack, Kyle was airlifted by a medevac aircraft. Medevac aircraft came in, picked him up, and was going to take him to the next level care hospital to try to get him there before he passed away. So they were working hard to save his life. And in the process of them doing that, someone snapped a picture. That picture ended up in the Stars and Stripes, and then it went viral from there. The Stars and Stripes is a newspaper, kind of circulates around the military community, especially over in wartime where we have access to it. That picture of Kyle was of him laying on the helicopter floor with the flight medics working on him, trying to keep him alive. They had cut his shirt off so they could access to him and provide that care. So as Kyle lay there, you could see a tattoo on his rib cage, right on his right side. That tattoo reads, "For those I love, I will sacrifice. For those I love, I will sacrifice." Those words sum up pretty much why every one of these veterans served. And every one of the veterans that we don't have here, why they served. They served because of the love they had for, and they still have, for their community, for their family, for their nation, for everyone around them. That is why they serve, and how do we thank them? How can we ever thank the veterans for everything that they've done, the sacrifices that they've had? It's events like this. It's parades in small towns. It's the events that you can have down in the town square, hearing a story, hearing what they went through sometimes, hearing about the fun that they had as well, the friends that they met along the way. That's how we can honor them. And it really, truly builds you up as well as you learn the stories that they have. Another way that we can honor them, a little bit of this was talked about in the speeches if you listened. Another good way that we can honor is by doing our civic duty, getting involved out there in the community, voting. Voting is a civic duty. One other great way, very inexpensive way, and a lot of people don't even really think about it, in an inexpensive way that we can say thank you, we can show our gratitude to those veterans, is by displaying a flag. Displaying an American flag on your home, on your business, on your school, on your backpack, on your shirts, showing your pride in America. When veterans walk into a community and they see those flags waving, they know that they did not sacrifice in vain. They know that they sacrificed for a community that loves them, supports them. I want to challenge everyone here, if you have it at your home, if you don't have a flag on your house at home, or you know that a neighbor of yours doesn't have a flag, I want to challenge you. I stopped at the Ace Hardware store about 15 minutes ago, or 15 miles down the road, and I was able to pick up a flag. It's right back here. So these flags over here you can buy for under $20. That's a few pennies a day that you can have if it only lasts you a year on your house. But my challenge for you is to go home, talk to your mothers, your fathers, your aunts, your uncles, your brothers, your neighbors, and encourage them. Encourage them to grab an American-made American flag and get it posted on your house if you don't already have one. That's how we can show our thank you. That's how we can show our gratitude. What I have this flag here for is I want to give it to somebody who doesn't have a flag on their home right now. I saw a hand right there, the young man right next to the green shirt. If somebody could, if he's allowed to walk right up here, it was the first hand I saw. Come right up here, young man. It was the first hand. I wish that I could give a flag to everybody here that doesn't have one, but they say do for one what you wish you could do for everyone. You take this flag home, son, and have your parents post it. All righty, thank you. That's incredible. I want to leave you with this. As we saw in the video, and as she introduced, my last 10 years were flying Blackhawks with the 160th, and it was an awesome, incredible time, great memories, incredible missions. The 160th lives by a creed, and that creed is what keeps everything going, and you live by that creed day and night. The last verse of that creed is, I serve with the memory and pride of those that have gone before me, for they loved to fight, fought to win, and would rather die than quit. Night Stalkers don't quit. Thank you.
Although Veterans Day is a day to honor our living veterans, we pause to remember those who have gone before us. Please stand if you are able and remain standing for the benediction.
Please bow your head. Let us take a moment to reflect on the courage and sacrifice of our veterans. We honor their unwavering commitment to protect our freedoms and uphold the values we hold dear. May the veterans here today inspire us to carry forward their legacy of service and dedication. Let us be reminded of the strength and unity and the importance of supporting one another, especially those who have served. As we leave this auditorium, may we go forth with gratitude in our hearts and a renewed sense of purpose. May we strive to create a world of peace and understanding, ensuring that the sacrifice of our veterans are never forgotten. Bless all who have served, and may their bravery guide our actions as we work towards a brighter future for all. Amen.
You may be seated. Veterans and speakers, please join us in front of the stage for our annual picture. Veterans and families, speakers and families, breakfast will be served at our old auditorium, and East students will guide you out the back door and through the halls of the upper elementary to get there. Thank you for attending.